て。
Izumi Hoshi is a 16-years-old senior in high school. A few years ago, she used to be the boss of a powerful criminal organization called Yakuza. She was known for ambushing a rival Yakuza group with her signature machine gun. Currently, she is the manager of a coffee shop owned by 3 of her trusted gang members Madaka, Yuji, and Haruo. They are trying to live a normal life after retiring from the criminal world, but the coffee shop is not doing well financially. The 3 former gangsters are still not accustomed to their lives as civilians, but Izumi binds them together and supports them. One day, they are approached by a high school girl, complaining about a modeling agency. The agency has been recruiting young girls and collecting an absurd amount of money from them. They also ask girls for sexual favors in turn for a contract. Hence, she wants the group's help to shut the agency down. It is clear that although the group has left the gangster world behind, the gangster life has not left them yet. The very next day, they barge into the agency and threaten the manager to return every girl's enrollment money. The manager reveals that the money goes to their rival gang, Hamaguchi. The gang is way more powerful than them, hence, messing with it will only cause trouble. The manager smugly tries to call the gang leader, but Yuji attacks him. Izumi stops everyone before things get out of hand and retreats for the time being. On their way back home, the group discusses the ways to get the agency in trouble with the law, now that they cannot stop it by force. Suddenly, members of Hamaguchi's gang knock out Haruo and Yuji and request Izumi to come with them. She agrees instantly, claiming that she also has a lot to say to their leader, Hamaguchi. On reaching their headquarters, she walks in with no doubt or fear even while being surrounded by armed men, double her age. Hamaguchi shows her packaged marijuana cookies and accuses her of selling them on neutral ground. They made a pact long ago where both parties agreed to stop all the illegal selling of goods in certain parts of the city. Izumi denies being associated with anything of such sort and asks him about the corrupt modeling agency. To her surprise, Hamaguchi insists that they do not support any modeling business. The two solve their differences, but Izumi suspects someone is trying to drag her down by spreading false information. Madaka arrives at the hideout with firecrackers attached all over his body to save his boss. Izumi returns home with him, deciding to investigate the matter the next day. Then, we are introduced to a budding entrepreneur and the antagonist of the film, Yasui. His assistant shows him a video of Izumi and her people threatening the modeling agency manager. It is clear that he is the one behind the conspiracy, and the one trying to hide his illegal work using Hamaguchi's name. His assistant tells him about the history of Izumi's gang. When Izumi was in middle school, her only mentor was her uncle Yakuza, the former leader of the gang. One day, he was killed by a rival gang while bringing Izumi home from school. Following the death, Izumi was made the leader and given the task to avenge her uncle's killers. She did her job efficiently and ended the rival group in an ambush. Before she disbanded their gang, she and Hamaguchi made a pact to never interfere with each other's business, which included several points. One of the points said that none of the gangs are allowed to sell illegal stuff on the shared ground. Back in the present, Izumi and her group do some digging around the neighborhood and find the youngsters who sell the cookies. They pretend to be customers and discover that the Hamaguchi gang is the one supporting the youngsters. While the guys believe that they are being cheated by Hamaguchi, something seems fishy to Izumi. She suggests they call the police and let them know what is going on, but the police couldn't care less. Then we see Yasui talking to his right-hand man Stan, who is also a professional assassin. He is informed about Izumi taking an interest in their business. It is clear that under Hamaguchi's name, Yasui has been selling illegal stuff and supporting the modeling company. Hamaguchi's right-hand man is named Tsukunaga. He also suspects that Yasui is the one behind the miscommunication. Hence, he sends a spy to find out what exactly is going on. The informer confirms that Yasui and his company are trying to take over their town after doing the same to some other cities over the past few years. Yasui's main aim is to make his partner win the upcoming election and get him to be the mayor of the town. Then, after defeating the gangsters, they want to build developmental projects for their own benefit. The same day, Izumi is at school when a girl creates chaos by screaming and running down the hallway. When a crowd gathers to watch her, she runs outside and is hit by a bus. Izumi notices a packet of special cookies on the accident spot, confirming that she was under the influence of illegal substances. On her way back home, Izumi sees Kuzukabe, a candidate for the city's mayor who is secretly working with Yasui. He is Yasui's free ticket to take over the town's politics and ultimately, the town itself. Izumi knows this but cannot do anything because people trust Kusakabe and his false promises to make the town better. At night, Yasui and his henchmen get the information that Hamaguchi is vulnerable because most of his gang members are out of town. Using the opportunity, he barges into the gang's headquarters and offers Hamaguchi a deal. If he kindly cooperates and steps down as the leader of the gang, he can be Isaui's partner. If not, he will be killed instantly. After a lot of thinking, Hamaguchi accepts the offer. However, his right-hand man, Tsukunaga, is not happy about the deal. He knows that if Yasui is left to rule the city, he will destroy it for his own benefit. Hence, he decides to take Izumi's help to end the matter once and for all. He calls her to a love hotel to talk in secrecy and shows her the news about Yasui's associate Kusakabe winning the election. This means he is now the mayor of the town and Yasui has gained complete power over it. Tsukunaga asks for Izumi's help to turn the matter around, but she refuses to cooperate with him. After all, he is a trusted member of the rival group. Before leaving, Tsukunaga reminds her that her uncle kept her in charge of the town and it is her duty to save it from people like Yasui. Madaka, who has also been listening to the conversation, follows Tsukunaga outside and asks him to stay away. It is revealed that Tsukunaga was the one who killed Izumi's uncle, but everyone has hidden the fact from her till now. The next day, Izumi comes home after school to find a crowd of people protesting outside their coffee shop. They believe that the shop is a ruse to sell special cookies to teenagers and must be closed. When Madaka tries to restrict the protesters, he is arrested and thrown in jail. By the end of the day, the place is in shambles. With no hope of the coffee shop's revival, Izumi calls Tsukunaga and agrees to help him in his mission. Yuji and Haruo arrive home from a trip to see Izumi sitting in the middle of the destroyed shop. She asks them to go away and do whatever they want on their own. However, the guys are adamant about sticking by her side, no matter what. They cheer her up and promise to take revenge on whoever spread the false rumor. The next day, Tsukunaga and Izumi go to find the youngster who was selling the special cookies. They find him in the movie theater and threaten him to reveal the truth. The guy discloses that he was asked to sell the cookies by a man with a scar on his face. Tsukunaga instantly recognizes the unnamed as the assassin Stan, who is also Yasui's right-hand man. Before the guy can give them more information, two masked men attack them. They have been sent to kill the guy so he wouldn't sell their secrets to anyone. Izumi and Tsukunaga manage to run away, but the guy is killed in the encounter. The duo runs for quite some time in the rain before they reach a storage place that belonged to Izumi's uncle. Tsukunaga changes into dry clothes as Izumi watches him from behind. She is intrigued by his back tattoo that looks a lot like her uncle's. They talk for a while and Tsukunaga reveals that he knew her uncle pretty well. Before he explains how, Yuji and Haruo barge in, informing them of the modeling agency's manager's death. It is clear to them that Yasui is removing any possible suspect that can lead them to him. Izumi gets up and announces that their gang has been resurrected and will be in motion to end Yasui. Yuji and Haruo are overjoyed as they had been bugging her to resurrect it since the day they disbanded. In the following scene, Tsukunaga and Izumi barge into a club. Hamaguchi, Yasui, and all his gang members are also in the club. Izumi ignores all of them and walks to the stage before announcing that her gang is back in action. When Yasui laughs at her and claims that no one cares about her stupid gang, she shows him graphs and charts of every illegal thing he has done in the town, including the date and time of when he sold the special cookies to teenagers. If the reports get to the media, the mayor's involvement could be suspected and all the progress they have made will go to waste. She throws the files at Yasui, asking him to take his business somewhere else. But, he calls her out for threatening him with fake reports as she could have never found the real ones this quickly. Seeing that their lie has been caught, Izumi panics. At the same time, Haruo and Yuji who were outside are brought to the club and held hostage. Yasui puts a rope around Izumi's neck and drags her to the stage, threatening to hang her to death. Tsukunaga asks the gang leader Hamaguchi to say something because only he can stop this now. But when the man stands up to protest, he is shot dead by Yasui. He mocks Izumi and reveals that Tsukunaga was the one who killed her uncle. In a fit of rage, Tsukunaga retaliates and a shootout ensues between the two groups. After a long and hard battle, Haruo sacrifices his life to cover their group and helps them flee in a car. Izumi cries, mourning the death of her close friend and asking Yuji to turn the car around. A few hours later, Yuji stops the car and falls on the ground, revealing that he had also been shot. Izumi insists they take him to the hospital, but Tsukunaga knows if they turn back, all of them will be killed. Hence, they drive to a forest and bury a now dead Yuji. Izumi confronts Tsukunaga about her uncle's death, to which he replies that he was ordered to do so. He had no choice because of the business they are in. Izumi makes a fuss out of it, so he hands her a gun and urges her to shoot him if she cannot forgive him. However, Izumi cannot bring herself to do so. Following that, the duo secretly returns to the storage place again. After years, Izumi brings out her machine gun, ready to avenge Haruo and Yuji's deaths. Medaka also escapes from prison and joins the two on the mission. They go to Yasui's company's headquarters and find Stan outside. Tsukunaga fights him and stabs him to death after a fierce battle. Following that, the trio simply walks into a meeting between Yasui, the mayor, and their associates. Yasui loses his temper and asks them how they got in. Izumi doesn't back down and fires at the group at random. Tsukunaga and Medaka join, killing everyone else but Yasui. But then, Medaka gets shot in the arm and is injured. Seconds later, Yasui fires at Izumi but Tsukunaga takes the bullet for her. Yasui walks towards her but is shot by Medaka before doing any harm. With a final attack, Tsukunaga finishes him before falling into Izumi's arms. He calls her beautiful with his last breath as she kisses him. In the end, she and Medaka walk outside the building. When the police arrive, Medaka turns himself in and saves her. A few months later, Izumi visits Tsukunaga's grave and tells him that she and Medaka keep in touch through letters. She has also given Haruo a proper burial and hopes that he found peace. Her life has turned back to normal. She still owns the coffee shop that makes her just enough money. In the last scene, we see Izumi graduate high school. She sings a song in the memory of the people who died to save her. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.